Wait.
My crew ran out of ink,
If I can have everyone's attention, please, I'd like to go ahead and call the March 2018 Lowndes County Democratic Party meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Does anyone not have a copy of the minutes of our last meeting? There are some copies. You might need a copy. You might need a copy. Need a copy. Great cover. Okay. Minutes have been circulated, and I know some of you haven't had time to read over them, but I'd like to go ahead and entertain a motion on the floor. There's been a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second? Second. Motion properly made and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Thank you. All right.
Those appear to be the minutes for the January meeting. Do we have minutes for the February meeting?
No.
Oh, okay. Very good.
February, we just made our call.
Yeah, you just make the phone call later. Jim, what's this? Jim, the vice report?
All right. Well, we began the month with a balance of $221.16, and we ended the month with a balance of $221.16 because we had no activity. I had no income, and thus I couldn't spend any to spend. So we really need your help, please. Please, we need it. Your help to help finance the office. I think we just saw with Treva's campaign how important the office is. Where to meet, where people met, they made phone calls, phone banking, a lot of work went on. It was really inspiring to see that, and it shows what the office is there for. So we really need help now.
How much is the rent?
$300 a month. And the internet phone is $116. 109 plus the taxes, $116. So that gives you an idea how much we need a month to support it.
So are we paid up to date?
Yes, sir. And
To what date are we paid up? To what date are we paid up?
oh, probably last June.
Where's the office located?
2008 Slater
Same place.
Same place.
Same place as before. Ron Boulevard.
Right.
All right.
Okay, look, we're 9 months behind in the rent. And unless we have people chip in $300 a month and $416 a month, we're gonna have to close the office. And so we really need people to chip in month by month, and at least for now, at least chip in at least 1 month to catch up on this is dire and serious. As Jim just said, The office got very heavily used during previous years campaign. It's a good place, it's a good base of operations, but unless people kick in and support the office, it's gonna have to be closed.
And in the meantime, I will pass it out.
Please continue. Thank you. Just pass it.
Okay, I don't see anyone here other than, well, I got two elected officials here. We got, County Commission member Marshall from District 2, is that right? Four. And, newly elected city councilman, Eric Howard from District 4. I believe in seniority, so I'm gonna ask the county commissioner if he'll, if you were first.
How's everybody doing? I'm not gonna prolong the time, but most of y'all know today was qualifying day. I went and qualified for re-election today. I feel very good about it. More enthused than ever. I proposed some stuff at our planning retreat with the county, which I hope to see come forward soon. But a couple of extra things I think be worth noting. One, we need to make sure that we support Stacey Abrams. Okay, she's putting a good fight. She get a lot of support in the Atlanta area and Savannah area. We got to boost our support down in this area. Okay, she's very asking for it. The other thing, you'll soon see the announcement of T-Splosh, which is a regional T-Splosh that is being proposed. And this T-Splosh is supposed to help generate funds for the widening of a lot of roads in this area. I asked that bicycle lanes be included with these road widening projects, as well as deceleration lanes. One in particular over off of 41 widening projects, North 41 area, down by the Lake Park exit, that area, and improvements to that bridge. Wild Adventure area, we're expecting road widening projects. I also requested that Hallbearers, based on Riverside Drive, be widened and paved. As many of y'all know, that's one of the only places that are accepting new people to be married. So, but half the road is paved and then turns into dirt. So my goal is to get that paved. So these are some of the major projects that we got on the T-Splosh list. When you see it coming about, I just ask that you support it. The city has a lot of road projects on it as well. At the end of the day, we're behind on infrastructure. And we were to be honest with you, we really are. From the county and the city standpoint. When you talk about putting in roads, you got to acknowledge that it takes curb and gutter. When you talk about getting future transportation and transit, you're going to need that widening of the roads, the intersection. Basically, a majority of the routes that we want to use for, say, even if you go with a transportation system in the future, it's going to need widening because the radius of buses, because we're not just talking about getting vans, we're hoping to get the real buses, right? So, as well as get it where when it rains, it don't, flood out, right? So we got a lot of issues. That's what this T-Splosh is about. If you hear about it, like I told some of my colleagues who may not be for it, and they're not for it because of ideology. In essence, my problem is, when someone says not against it, but you're going to reap all the benefits in the past, that's very conflicting. We might have to rethink the list if you're going to be the one out there standing up and going against it, and then we get in the past, and then there are other people who want projects done. So just keep that in your mind. Again, I thank you all for supporting me. Asked for another 4 years. County and the city's been good to me. I can't complain. So, any questions?
I have a question. Which county commission seats are up for election this year? I looked on the county website, it does not say.
Scottish Ornstein seat, which is District 2, as well as Mark Weisenbaker, District 3.
Neither of the super districts?
No.
No, Demarcus is super
I'm the
district.
super district 4.
So you two,
That's right.
so three seats are out.
3 seats.
2, 3, and 4.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
When will we see the list for the chief spot?
Actually, you have it, we all have a copy of it, but I can have Paige or I have to put one out there. I know they're gonna have some public meetings locally.
It's available on the RDC site, isn't it?
RDC, you probably got it on their website. Now, here's something to remember when you see that list of roads. Well, all of the roads on the list have been submitted, but there's a 25% additional amount of income that we're expecting. We call them discretionary funds. That's where you're gonna be able to add other projects in there, the smaller roads. See, because what we had to do was commit to some projects that GDOT already had in the making. And so they'll kick in by 90 million towards all that. So long story short, we got 25% more money that's gonna be coming in for extra roads, widening, and so-called projects.
Mark, 2 questions.
Okay?
When is the election coming up? And the next day, do we have an opposition?
Currently, I haven't heard any opposition for my seat. I don't know about the other seats. May 22nd, I believe, is the general primary election. So, time flies. It really flies. It seemed like yesterday, I was up there really early this morning. I got up by 8 o'clock, because I had to go to the VA early this morning, but, I haven't heard any opposition at all. But I hope that my actions speak for themselves.
Yeah.
I do what I can as well as represent my constituents to the best of my ability. So that's all I can say. Nobody else have any questions? Yield to the city councilman. Eric Howard.
How y'all doing? Touching on this T-Splotch, they have a list of what they're gonna do, like widening forests. They're gonna widen forests and plan on putting sidewalks on both sides of it where it is now. A lot of these intersections, they are gonna be widened. Now that discretionary fund, the city, we're pushing that we go ahead and get our public transportation. We went, a lot of councilmen went to Albany last week to visit their public transportation. And they're on the Heinz vehicle, they were the most recently done. So everybody's planning on going up there to visit there to see what we can do to get it implemented. But that discretionary fund is around $6 million is what they're saying. So that should be a good boost to any project that we have around here. We encourage everyone to come to the meetings. I mean, if you guys see anything that y'all want done, now's the time. You have new council members in here. I'm not gonna say they're easily swayed, but you can get their ear before all the negative talk comes in. Come out and just let them know if you have any issues. We have things right now where I've implemented along with the mayor and council meeting. Last year we had a lot of car break-ins and houses being broken into in the summer. The other night basketball league that we just got everything set up. So kids 9th through 12th grade who are currently not on the basketball team, gonna be completely free. We got enough donations from local business owners, police department, sheriff's department. They're gonna put in a team. City council gonna put in a team. Business owners supposed to come out and talk to the kids at halftime, kids and parents. Just anything to try to keep them off streets. Start a week after school ends, go all the way up to a week before school starts back. Just a lot of projects that's going on. We just need community involvement. Y'all got it. Y'all have anything? Come out, speak. Questions?
I have 4 questions.
Oh,
Yeah, 2 for you and 2 for Marshall. When is the retreat for the city and what is the location? What dates are those? Because a lot of the citizens don't go out. I was the last one for the city and I learned a lot. Now I want to go to both of them this year.
retreat for the city is next Friday in Lenox.
Same place.
Next Friday in Lenox.
Same questions here?
Yes, sir.
To be honest with you, our retreat has already taken place roughly just over a week ago. It was on the 20th or 21st, and it was at the chairman's home.
How many civilians was there? Was just person, people in the community? I know she was.
We got faithful, and the newspaper came as well. And I tell you, it was a very interesting retreat, especially the first day. and even the second day, a lot of heated debate came out of it. And like Councilman said, I would strongly encourage you all to attend.
A lot of the things that we want in here, we can get them done. But people have to see that not just the council want, the people want. I mean, like we've been, like when we start talking about public transportation with JD Grant, for example, some people have been pushing, and some people just been pushing it back, saying we don't need it, we don't need it. Well, you have a car. I mean, when they don't look at, when businesses look to relocate in the city, they want to see if they have citizens who can get to work, who don't have vehicles. They don't think about it. All they look at, I'm not getting on the bus. Well, you may not, but some people do need to get places. And that's the kind of stuff that we look at. We have a older population right over here on Bemis and some of these retirement homes. Those people don't have vehicles. People crossing the street in wheelchairs. That's not safe. We have a lot of need for this stuff. So, like I said, we want to push for things that, I mean, that'll be good for the community. But if we come out and voice our opinion, then they'll see that people mean it. It's just not talking. But yeah, we definitely want to get that public transportation up. That's something that we're pushing for.
Well, we thank both of you for the comments and enlightening us about the upcoming T-Spot and other issues that are coming up in the city and the county.
When will we vote on the T-Splosh?
May 22nd. It'll be on the May primary ballot.
I mean, we ought to be putting down what the projects are pretty soon, shouldn't we?
They're out.
I have a list of the projects, but I don't know what
It's
it's
on
on.
RDC, but the general public doesn't know anything about RDC.
They've run ads in the paper to say that there's meetings, come and see
On
them.
what projects are?
Yeah. I went to that meeting, Nolan Cox was there, me and
Yeah, I
Nolan.
ran an ad also, but I have the
On
projects.
this-
The projects will run in the paper for 4 weeks immediately preceding the election. I have a project list, I'm just waiting for confirmation that it is correct to run it.
Well, maybe I'm the only person that missed the project list.
Well, it's not widely disseminated. If you want to come to the office
That's my
or holler at
point.
me, I'll send you one.
Okay, but I'm just
You
my
send me a
point.
date to go talk to your classes,
I
and I'll
will.
send you back the
Okay,
project.
well, my point is this. This is gonna be voted on by everybody. Shouldn't everybody know what they're voting on? That's okay. Maybe just.
I have a question and a comment. The comment is, look on sgrc.us, the list is on there, has been for several weeks.
I'm not saying it's not, John. The point is, the general public doesn't know anything about that.
Well, they've run an ad in the paper, JD, so then if they read the paper, which is the legal organ, then they know.
I'll be happy to post it on the party's website as well. I have a question for DeMarcus. Why is widening US 41 north back on the impulse list and a bus system is not? With widening US 41 north costs more than a bus system.
Well, the biggest, I guess, obvious thing that you know is that is the unincorporated part of the county. So each municipality as well as the county is going to receive a portion of the money. Basically. So the city's going to do what they want to do with their portion, and the county's going to do what we need to do with our portion, which is prepare for the growth that's going to take place in the inner cities, as well as on the outskirts around, say, the Lake Park area that we're trying to promote, as well as the Hay Howard area, which we're really trying to promote. And so widening those roads going to help facilitate traveling up and down that.
I guess I wasn't clear. My question was pretty specific. US 41 north, which is nowhere near anybody's inner city, it has nothing to do with the city of Valdosta. Why is that back on the list? When the bus system can help everybody in the county is not.
Well, maybe they might come, the bus system comes all the way out to Hay Howard, but also, as you recall, we're building this world-renowned soccer complex in Hay Howard right now. It's Olympic size, and we're expecting like major tournaments throughout the year. We did a bunch of research on the soccer industry, and we located all kind of big promoters and all of that. At the end of the day, we're expecting a lot of commerce to get ready to start coming to the Hay Howard area. Anyone who have any property in the Hay Howard area, I would retain it. Just being honest with you, because it's about all of us at the end of the day. And when you talk about economic development, you got to count the properties that's there. You got to count the business owners and all the commercial activity that comes to that area, because that's what helps lower the taxpayers' burden.
Thank you for an answer that actually addresses the question, which is more than I've ever gotten from anybody else about US 41 North.
And I appreciate that because I have the same sentiments John echoed, about some of the projects while I'm bringing them up. The idea, why aren't these projects publicized for the general public? But we should get that out there so folks can know. Dennis, you want to talk about the elections?
Let me defer talking about the elections and start by calling on the best supervisor of elections in the state of Georgia, which is Deb Cox. Neighboring counties go to Deb for advice. She is really important. She does a wonderful job running the elections. I want her to talk about the mechanics of qualifying, and I'm going to ask Dr. LaPlante, our vice chair for qualifying, to talk about what candidates need to be doing once they qualify. So Deb?
Thank you. Sorry, qualifying is continuing this week. Today was the first day. We had the incumbents qualifying for the commissioners. Looks like all the interest today was with the school board. I don't know what's going on over there, but we had quite a few school board qualifiers. There's a handout here that you can watch up to the minute. As soon as they're officially qualified, it pops into the state website now. That's our website because we're a state office. And you can see exactly who's qualified by individual office or by the whole county or whatever you like. All you have to do to qualify is come on into the office up until noon Friday. Have your qualifying fee. List of those is up here as well. And sit down with somebody on a computer. Remember those old long forms? Look at the tiny, no more of those. It's all computerized now. It's all on the website. So we just key you in, print it out, you check it off, sign it, you're good to go. The more the merrier. Y'all come on out. Any questions about anything? If you have any questions at all, call, email, fax, send a vision, whatever it takes to get questions to our office. We'll answer.
Yeah, I've got a question. When I was at your office the other day, I noticed that they shut down all of the voting places in the black community except for Milton Month. And why is that?
About 10 years ago?
I don't know when I know we were closed down.
We haven't made any polling place changes in a very long time. Over half of the voters in a big election come in for early voting. When that occurs, and it's on the increase. The next big election, which I figure in 2020, will probably tip the balance into the 60%. As we do that, there's no more need for polling places out there, along with the fact that, thanks to both parties, we have free rides to the elections office, free rides to early voting, free rides on election day to the polling places, mail ballots, all of the above. If you're military, you also can get electronic ballot. There's a million different ways to vote. All of that combined reduces the number in the polling places. And that happened a long time ago. That wasn't anything recent. Mildred Hunter is very underused, actually. I think most of the people in that area's early vote as well.
I think they ought to be honest with you. I think they ought to shut down everything except the early voting and just let people vote on Oak Street and forget it. Because there's fewer and fewer people are going to the polls now.
That's bad.
And I know because I take them, and I don't take as many as I used to.
It's true. They're all coming in early voting. And get those free rides and get a drink when they're coming. Any more questions?
Yeah, I have one. Could you give us very briefly the procedures for a person that come in and want to assist somebody in voting? When I say assist, they need help because of whatever.
Okay.
Very brief. It'll be
You
short form.
can legally assist someone if they're illiterate or if they have a physical whatever disability. All you have to do is sign that you're assisting that individual. Of course, that individual needs to want the assistance. And then you're able to go on in there. It's that simple. You see that mostly with kids helping their parents, situations like that. But all it requires is a signature. That person says, I want this one to help me, and the person helping signs and dates. It's that simple.
Who checked the box on that form for whether they actually need assistance?
It depends on where they are and what the situation is. I mean, if they're illiterate or they have a disability where they can't, anybody could really check that box. We have a situation I need to know about?
Yeah, but I'm gonna retain that.
Just let me know.
Yeah, it wasn't here in Lowndes County though, but that's why I want people
Well,
to be
we're over
aware.
18 counties here, so.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
I got one. Is there any discussion about the website to check the results, make it a little more user-friendly? Because the last time I was trying to follow the local city elections, I had a hard time getting on the proper website.
Yeah, the website is hard to find unless you know the election number.
Before every election, that number changes where you access the website. It's a security feature. If you get with us, and we always have it on the front counter, if you get with us prior to, we can give it to you. As a matter of fact, if you email, it's generally very long, which is annoying as anything. If you email us, we'll email you that website back, so all you have to do is click on the link. This year, all you do, go to Secretary of State's website, and there'll be a big red banner there. You can't miss it, click on it, and you're there. And you can draw down results statewide, by any county you want to, by a race or anything like that. Any more questions? If you have any, you know where we're at. Come visit. We have bad government coffee. The elections office, 2808 North Oak Street. Not far from Brewster, so you can stop in and visit and go to Brewster's. The all-American thing, elections and national. Okay.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm passing out a calendar on the elections. There were, I think, some copies up front, but in case you don't have a copy, this gives you information on the primary election, runoff, general election. We have fantastic expertise here from Deb to our elected candidates, but I was just going to mention that in terms of qualifying, we are looking for Democratic candidates for the Georgia State Senate, District 8, for the Georgia House, seats Districts 174, 175, and 176. I think this was just mentioned earlier. We have the Lowndes County Commission, Districts 2 and 3, the Lowndes County School Board, Districts 1, 2, and 3, and then the Tax Assessor Post 2, which I believe is a special election. Encourage friends and neighbors, individuals who you know have been active, my goodness, maybe in your neighborhood association, individuals who have been active in your church, individuals who have been active in your civic organizations. I mean, again, we have wonderful expertise here from candidates who in this room have run, candidates who have successfully won, candidates who are going to be reelected soon. And from that, we know that, again, individuals who have social capital, right? Individuals who are active in their neighborhood associations, active in their churches, active in civic organizations, have name recognition. That gives them a wonderful step up. Also, I would emphasize that we know from these local elections that canvassing and going door to door is one of the most proven get out the vote techniques, and also having a message. I mean, for our wonderful individuals who have just been elected to city council, been elected to county commission, that vision, right, that message for what we were going to do to improve our neighborhoods, to improve the business community, to improve our transportation, our infrastructure, to improve race relations in the community, to improve policing. I mean, that I can't say enough about how important that messaging is. And of course, the Georgia Democratic Party, as well as other entities in the workshops that they have for prospective candidates, will note that for candidates that qualify. Your messaging, how to canvass, how to mobilize that vote. So if you can help, I think if everyone in this room can help to identify those friends, those neighbors, those community activists to seek those seats, that will help the party advance and help all of us move forward. I was also going to put a pitch in for T-Splost. Several years ago, my daughter and I had an opportunity to do a research paper on T-Splost. You might remember it was voted on in, I think, 12 districts across the state, only passed in 3, I believe. Only passed in 3 in Middle Georgia. And my friends, if you look at Middle Georgia in the wake of successfully passing T-Splost several years down the road, it is a huge economic engine for them. I mean, Cordeal is probably the best example, marketing themselves as what? An inland port. Unfortunately, it failed in South Georgia, where it could do tremendous good. It also failed in North Georgia, and most significantly, it failed in the massive Atlanta metroplex, where there is huge need for it. So, but the political science literature, to bore you with it, is crystal clear now, several years out from the first T-Plus vote. It is having a massive economic benefit, and especially across all income levels. What I think killed T-Plus in South Georgia, in North Georgia, and even in the Atlanta metroplex was just a lot of misunderstanding, right? There was just a lot of misunderstanding. To JD's eloquent point, we have to get those lists out there and have people educated on it, and especially in low turnout elections or lower turnout elections, you want people well educated. But again, I applaud our county and city officials. I think the Democratic Party here can do great work on that. But all too often, the absolutely no taxes whatsoever rhetoric can trump good ideas, right? Even when we have powerful good ideas to improve infrastructure, and by the way, nobody loves paying taxes. I know but they can play a critical role. Again, the schedule that just went around, keep in mind, as we just mentioned, that your T-Plus vote will be coming up on May 22nd, although early voting before that. Georgia is one of now, I think, only a handful of states, almost all in the Deep South, that have runoffs. And so if a candidate doesn't get what, 50% plus one, we go to a runoff. Keep in mind, your runoff is, of course, scheduled in July, and then, of course, you have the general election deadlines. So I appreciate it. I just want to say all that everyone in this room does, not only for the party, but also for your communities. And so think about those individuals that we might want to prod, nudge, or even twist their arms a bit to seek some of these offices that are open to have good Democrats running in those races. So, and like I said, for those that aren't thinking of running, there is no better expertise than in this room right here from our elected officials and from Deb at the Board of Elections. So, thanks.
Okay, let me just close out by telling you, please take a very careful look at this sheet that says Elections 2018, because this is really our marching orders for the rest of this year. Because we've got the deadline for folks to register to vote coming up on April 24th. That's the deadline for both the T-Plus and if you live in Hayhira for Sunday package sales. But it's also the deadline for the runoff. You can't vote in the runoff if you're not eligible to vote in the election. So notice all of the offices that we've got that are open this cycle. The governor, all of the state constitutional offices. We have Democrats that are primed to or have already qualified for all of those positions. And as Dr. Plant mentioned, Georgia State Senate District 8, that's Ellis Black is the current incumbent in that. We need a Democratic candidate for that. Georgia House 174, 175, and 176, that's John Corbett, John Will and Jason Shaw. Dexter Sharper is the 177. That's a good Democrat. We've got that covered. The Lowndes County Commission Districts 2, 3, and 4, as was mentioned earlier, Scott Orenstein and Mark Weissenbaker are Republican incumbents. We need good Democrats to come on there. Marcus Marshall has us covered in District 4 in the school board. The current incumbents are Mark Davis, Brian Browning, and Eric Johnson. The first two of those have already drawn opponents in the primary. I downloaded the qualifying after 5 o'clock today to see who's running. I recommend going to that website. The tax assessor, Felicia Williams, who had been the tax commissioner, was appointed to that position, and she will be running. She's run previously as a Democrat. She will be running again. So there are a lot of offices which we need people to step up for, get involved. You can complain all you want about what's going on in Washington or what's going on in Atlanta, but unless you get involved locally, you really can't have an impact. So do get involved in that. Notice the rest of the calendar. And then the primary is where the big action is. That's where the parties sort out who their candidates are gonna be. The runoff in the primary is in the middle of the summer. That is intentional to not encourage voter turnout, and then the general election in November. Some of these issues are going to be decided in May 22nd date, including T-SPLOS. And again, note the early voting dates starting April the 30th. So April the 30th to May 13th, May 18th. That includes a Saturday and a Sunday voting. We'll again be offering rides to the polls, and thank you to everyone who has been helping with rides to the polls. But we need to get people registered. We need to get people out to vote. The turnout in the 175th, the special election, was under 10% of the registered voters in the 175th. That is a miserable turnout. We can do better than that. And if we do better than that, we can have a real impact. So thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Question?
I have a question.
Yes.
The last election, I was kind of disappointed that, and myself too, the way we supported Ms. Gear. You know, and I'm thinking that we need to have captains in all churches, because I was asking people about the election, they didn't know anything about it. A lot of people I talked to had no idea, you know, what was running and who they could run for. And we're not doing a good job of supporting our candidate when they do run. I work with a lot of candidates, and they are struggling trying to win by themselves. We're not organized that well to help them. That's a hard job when you're running by yourself. So we need to come up with a better way of supporting our candidates. You know, if we're not going to win if we don't find a better way, organize and start supporting our candidates to win. You know, if we don't win, our kids going to lose. They're going to continue to lose if we don't step and win. So we got to start getting out there and supporting our candidates and make sure they are winning in order for them to help us. Our kids, transportation, jobs, you know, we need jobs here. You know, and we need the school system needs some work. Not the school system itself, but the community. You know, I was asking a lady the other day, and she was in Atlanta. I said, what are the politicians saying about our school system? She said, we didn't bring it up. We're not talking about it to our politicians. They don't know that our schools need help. You know, we got kids that can't read in 3rd and 4th grade. If you can't read, I feel like right now, I go to school pretty much every day. I feel like right now we're raising kids for prison. And that breaks my heart.
While we're talking about Ms. Gear's campaign, I really would like to give a shout out to Dr. Deborah Tam, who's her campaign.
Is she around again?
Yeah, she's already qualified.
Yeah.
Good, yeah. Good. Smart candidate. Good candidate, yeah.
We had a segment in here on the agenda for meeting candidates, and we had one candidate that contacted us about coming down tonight and talking with us, running for a statewide office, but apparently he hasn't made it yet, so we'll move on to members wanting to be heard. And Mr. Rayford has asked to go first because he has a prior engagement he wants to attend, so we'll let him kind of pour it out, and we'll go around the room.
Thank you, J.D. This ain't gonna take but a second, since we don't ever have any money as Democrats and pass the hat around, that ain't gonna do it. We ought to do better other things. I got a suggestion. Since we owe the rent, we ain't paid the rent in 9 months. This is a suggestion I got. I've been selling these bumper stickers. Don't blame me. I'll vote for Hillary. Now here's a suggestion. I sell them for $5. If the body agreed to adopt this policy, we can bump it up to $10 and raise some money. I took it on my own because I know how to raise the money. So if you like, if the body want to adopt this, I got to leave, but if the body want to adopt this, we can make $8 or $7. Okay, I bought paid $150. So I think it's a good idea if you're not afraid to be a Democrat and not afraid to put on your car. Don't blame me, I'll vote for Hillary. So I'm gonna leave that with JD if anybody decide, get one to pay $5. If not, they can, everybody can adjust, we can raise some money, I can show you how to raise some money for the Democratic Party.
All right. We'll certainly open up on the floor if that's a pleasure of the body. Any discussion on the idea?
As long as those are not the only bumper stickers. If someone has other bumper stickers of similar kind, that they can do the same thing.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Rayford about the idea? All right. We'll bring it up on the new business if the floor wants to entertain the motion. Any other members who wish to be heard?
I have something. In the legislature recently, there was a bill that passed the House, HB 158, which was about the legislature appropriating money for what it's actually supposed to go to. And local county commissions and city councils all voted resolutions in support of this so that we pay, if you buy a special license plate tag and it has nature or dogs or something, some portion of that money is supposed to go to the cause that you're sending it to. But the legislature was putting the money in the general fund, and they have been putting in the money in the general fund. The cities pay stormwater fees, and that's supposed to come back to the community to deal with stormwater issues, to collect tires and stuff like that. But the money's been going into the general fund. Jake Powell from Camilla made a bill to say, we want to have this money go to what it's supposed to go, driver ed or stormwater. There's a lot of things we pay fees for, and the money isn't going to the correct thing. It made it through the House with overwhelming support. There's a possibility it will not be brought to the floor of the Senate for a vote because they don't want to. So if you would call not only Ellis Black, but other senators that you know, and ask them to motivate to bring that to the floor. Get it out of committee, get it, so that things that we're paying fees for actually go to the things. You know, Valdosta City School had to close its driver ed program because the money that's supposed to go to driver ed is going to the general fund. So please call your friends, let them know all around the state. Have everybody you know call their senator to get House Bill 158 brought to the Senate floor.
I also have a comment.
Go ahead.
I'd like to tie what Professor LaPlante said to the local elections. As one of the many people in this room who helped defeat T-Splosh last time, I don't think it was a misunderstanding. I don't think it was a mistake. It was largely because T-Splosh was started for Atlanta. As someone who lives here, I don't think Atlanta is more significant. And a number of the projects on the list that were put there by our local governments were questionable. The reason I keep harping on US 41 North is this is before your time, Marcus, so you don't know about this most likely. But before it was on the T-Splosh list, the county got the state actually, to try to widen US 41 North all the way into O'Hara, right through Dr. Harris' property. And a whole bunch of locals fought that off with great difficulty. Then there it is back on the T-Splosh list. And when I say that it was for more money than a bus system, I mean that literally. The dollar numbers were larger for that one item than for the bus system put forward by the SGR Center. So now there's the soccer fields, which there were no soccer fields back then. So at least there's some sort of justification now. But perhaps all candidates for particularly county commission offices might want to make it part of the platform. If we can afford widening US 41 North, we can afford a bus system.
All right, anyone else? Eric? Oh, Eric? Jim? Eric? No. Go ahead, hand up first. Eric, then you.
I think it's House Bill 61 that they're trying to pass now, the internet sales tax. You know, right now there are companies that don't have to pay sales tax on internet sales like Amazon, Google, and eBay when you purchase them. You just pay that cost. So the problem is they're trying to get it now it was once a law, but the money got stuck in Atlanta and never trickled down to the communities where the items were purchased. So they're revisiting it now, so we need to encourage our legislators to, to support that, so that money that it will get back to our local area. That's one that they're opening up there.
I just want to bring up about public transportation. The last Citizens Advisory Committee of the MPO, one of the things they brought up is where the holdup is on the public transportation, it seems, is an operating cost of about $550,000 that we're trying to cover. Now, $550,000 is about a $500,000 raise in the tax rate. Will raise more than $500,000. And that amounts to about $3 a month on the tax bill. That's not a whole lot of money, it seems, to be able to have a public transportation system. And maybe, making this kind of thing clear to people. And that, and I'll come right out and say, what is stopping us are Republicans. That's why we can't have good things. We can have good things if we wanted to, but we have to get out, elect our candidates, and bring it about. Because it ain't going to happen any other way. We must elect Democrats, or Democratic leaning, to our offices so that we can have some good things like a public transportation system. And like I said, it amounts to a shortfall of about $550,000 that they're trying to figure out, where do we cover it? Because they don't think they can do it by the fares. But I don't know if that's true or not. Right now everything is speculation and giving ideas. But it seems that can easily be covered. When there was $1 million shortfall in the budget a year or two ago, what did they do? They raised $1 million. They raised the tax rate $1 million. And the fact of the matter is, our tax rate in Lowndes County is the lowest of any comparable county in the state by a big margin, several percentage points. We can have good things if we wanted to. That's all I can say.
I just want to say one other thing regarding T-Splash. When I first got elected, I didn't know there were any citizens in Lowndes County supporting T-Splash until I went to Atlanta. When I went and took that certification for newly elected officials, that's when I found out that our delegation was supporting and everything else. But when I came back here, I seen those signs everywhere, vote no, give yourself a raise. And all I'm getting at is we need some people out there to hold signs that say vote yes. We need signs everywhere when the time comes. On this list, there's a lot of things that I truly believe is going to benefit the Lowndes County community. When you think about even the St. Augustine area, St. Augustine Hill, a bridge to go over that railroad track now, that's out there. It's not widening the southern part of Old Clydeville Road, that's on there. There's a lot of great projects on there. I encourage you to look at it. And if you don't see something on there, that doesn't mean it's not going to take place. Like Councilman said about the transportation. A lot of the transportation, say the Riverside Road that leads to Paul Burroughs Cemetery, is going to get paid through the discretionary funds, which are coming out of the T-Splash. Okay? So just keep that in mind as we move forward, because you're going to be hearing a lot of opposition. But that ain't the time to get scared, I guess I want to get that. Because I saw the Republican machine out there right after I got elected, and even I was in doubt about what the T-Splash was. But it wasn't until I went to Atlanta, I heard everybody saying, everyone saying, hey, that's the good thing, we should. But it just wasn't like that here, okay?
That's because of our list. We had a bad list last time.
Yeah. But lastly, the other big, I guess, caveat to T-Splash is we will no longer have to pay 30% match for whatever purchases we want, grants we receive from the state. We'll only pay a 10% match. That's a lot less, okay? So when you talk about $1 million project, we're only paying $100,000. That's for the next 10 years. So, I mean, it's a lot bigger, a lot more at stake than it was before. Because before, they told us to vote for it, and we weren't gonna have any repercussions, but the fact is, we really did have some repercussions. We had to pay 30% match on everything, all the funds that we received from the state. So just be mindful of that. That's all I had, Jay.
One comment on the public transportation that Jim was talking about. I'm glad to hear you say there was a $500,000 shortfall to make it functional. There isn't very many departments in the city that generate revenue. The only ones that have a chance to generate revenue are what's called enterprise funds, and that's water and sewer and the building department. Everything else gets their money from general revenue, police, fire, engineering, all the rest of them. And none of them generate revenue. Not even the police department generate revenue. The police department has about a $10 million budget, and they don't generate nowhere near that money to be self-sufficient. So when people tell you that a bus system won't make money, that's a smokescreen. The only department in the city that does have a chance to make money is water and sewer and building. And building so far, the last few years has not made profit. Water and sewer does. So that's just a smokescreen. As far as $500,000 and raising the property tax, I'm against property tax increase for anything. I know we got one of the lowest property taxes everywhere in Georgia. I guarantee if you went to any other city that has property tax higher than ours, they'll tell you their property tax is too high. And I tell you my property tax is too high in Valdosta. Bus system can be paid for without touching property tax. We have a gold mine called I-75. With all those hotel motels on I-75, there are over 4,000 hotel motel rooms in Valdosta. Why in the world we couldn't raise hotel motel tax 1 penny per dollar on those folks from Ohio and Michigan and Minnesota traveling down to Disney World, spending the night in Valdosta? Let them pay for some of that services. The money's there. The money is there. And we were taxed 2 years ago, increase on the gasoline tax. We pump gas in our car and our trucks. That money was supposed to go to Atlanta, and part was supposed to come back to Valdosta. I haven't heard a word about the money coming back to Valdosta on the gasoline tax increase. Where's that money? That money could be used for transportation. So folks, money's there. $500,000, that's probably laying around City Hall somewhere.
I agree.
So we could, if the Valdosta has got to have some want to. Got to have some want to. And as far as alluding back to what John was talking about the softball complex. I welcome the softball complex, but there are entities in Lowndes County that will benefit greatly from the public transportation system. Wiregrass will benefit greatly. Mooney Air Force Base, Lake Park, Hay Howard, Troopville, which is Brooks County.
Wild Adventure.
All those places will benefit greatly from the public transportation system. So, you know, folks, one thing I like about what Eric campaigned on is that we have got to stop fighting each other. I mean, it's good to have a football rivalry, folks, but it stops at the Friday night football game. It's not us. It ain't us versus Lowndes County. Valdosta is, you can't have Lowndes County without Valdosta. You can't have Valdosta without Lowndes County. We are one. Now, I know some of y'all probably a lot younger than me, but there used to be a cartoon character called Pogo the Possum. He was a cartoon character in Okanogan Swamp and Way, because he used to have a saying, we met the enemy and he's us. We are our enemy. Not Atlanta, Savannah, nobody else. It's us. If we were banded together as a unit, there's no telling what we couldn't do. There's no telling what we couldn't do. And I like the idea that Cordell did when they became an inner port city for the Georgia Ports Authority. But also we got two major railroads here. An airport that has the third longest runway in the state. These are things people don't know. People don't know. There's nothing holding us back but us, y'all. And we got to get out, just like Marcus said, And just like Dr. Plant said, and just like Dennis said, we have got to get out and get folks to vote.
Yes, yes.
Nothing's ever gonna change unless we change folks in there. We got a bunch of folks that are sitting on their laurels, not worrying about the overall working stiffs, and the folks who don't have, we gotta get them out of office. And put folks in office that generally have our concerns at heart. We gotta do that. And a 10% turnout ain't gonna cut it. Yes, sir.
I'd like to say two things very quickly because I know we're at the very end of our meeting. I guess the first thing is my wife and I went down to the board election. I'm sorry, Deb, got away from my graphics. We got ourselves trying to register people to vote. And I think we have to be clear that. Would it be possible for Deb or one of the members of her staff to come in here to one of our meetings and train those of us who wanted to register to vote? That seems a pretty basic thing that we need to be able to.
She will hold a class at any time that you get a group of people together.
Okay, good, that's awesome, we know that. All right, number two, I watched when they defeated that guy Roy Moore in Alabama. All right, put a Democrat in. What they did is, it wasn't just the Democratic Party out there beat the Bushes. They also had the preachers in the community, organized people. They had the NAACP. They had the liberal organizations, like we've got people that are actually indivisible in principle and move on in this area. All those people pool their resources and work together instead of each out there doing whatever they might or might not do. And that's something we need to think about. Does anybody speak Spanish in this room?
Good point.
Somebody? Anybody? There are lots of people out there who should be inclined to vote Democratic because they're going to get run out of the country if they don't. And yet we don't seem to be able to know who those people are, to organize those people, and so forth. That's a voting block, I assume, that we're not doing anything with. But see, that's the way you have to think. You have to think strategically and gather your allies, get a plan, and go out. So that's just something to think about.
Excellent points, excellent points. Eric?
Peggy, what was that, the bill that was passed that we could have got $1 million per year if we could have implemented the public transportation system? What year was that passed?
That was 2003.
2003, so we've been losing $1 million a year just for not having a public transportation. That we could have had for public transportation. So, like you say, that the money, like I said, the money is there if we go out and do what we're supposed to do.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know, another thing, JD, Amazon is here. And do you know that most of the people in the perimeter, they're working on Sundays in the post office? I mean, Jacksonville has a huge population of young folks that's just working for Amazon. And so that's things that we don't even know about. I mean, you have the manager or supervisor at the post office walking around talking about it, but it's not in the newspaper. And Amazon is just a big, huge business. I mean, for her to, she's in management, for her to be working on Sundays, I mean, that could be young kids, that type of job. At least hire them for 6 months, or 3 months. School is out for 3 months. Let them work with Amazon and they can do a much faster job. I mean, because physically they can do the weight and everything, and computerized and everything, but nobody knows about it.
We don't run circles around with the computer.
Yes, yes.
I retired from the post office in November.
Oh, sorry.
I had 40 years with it. And that is, you have to be a hiree of the post office. And you have to be going for a full-time job. Amazon cut a deal with the post office about 5 years ago. We are carrying their packages less than you would imagine. Now, the post office is going to come back and revisit that very soon, is what they say. They cut a deal that basically we're delivering every package for them for $3. But we're delivering millions and millions of them. And that's why Sunday delivery came up. I was one of the people that could not deliver Sunday because they would not pay me the kind of wages that they pay the people to start. And that's why they went to this system, so they would have somebody to deliver. At one time, they would not use a supervisor that was a regular in there because they would have to pay him too much. So this is the reason they went to the whole system they went to about Sunday delivery. These people get paid less and they're not full-time employees yet. When they make full-time employees, they will no longer be working that. Now, they have changed some of that because they're not getting enough people in there to deliver these packages. I mean, they're making, you know, it's supposed to be a half-day delivery at one time. It's full day going into overtime every day. In the post office, 8 hours is regular time, and anything over 8 hours is overtime, and anything over 10 hours is double time. So that's the reason they don't do things like that, hire people just to do this. The best shot to get on with them is at Christmas. They will hire at Christmas. You will only be there for Christmas. And it starts sometime.
Oh, it's better than that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they're gonna pay you about $18 an hour.
But see, in Michigan, they hire you for 89 days, and they work you to death like that, and then they let you go. And then those cars made in the summer months like that, those are the cars you don't want to buy, because you open up the door, and the guys aren't really paying too much attention, because they know they're going to be gone in 89 days. You see what I'm saying?
It's a mess. I mean, the reason they went to this was Amazon gave them this deal, and it actually saved the post office, because our first-class mail was just hitting the crapper.
But the mail here goes to Tallahassee before it's distributed.
It does, because the same thing, they cut down, they took, now ours actually goes to Jacksonville.
Oh.
Okay, Jacksonville is our sectional center here. The reason they did that, they did them all over the state. For instance, where I'm from, the South Florida district comes out of Tampa, and it covers everything across the Vero Beach, which we're the southern end, all the way up to Ormond Beach and back across the state. They have like 172 post offices in there. But they only have 2 distribution centers. One's Orlando, one's Tampa. And when we were in Vero, we're 130 miles, we're the tail end of everything. So we got the mail last, we got everything else last. But then they went to all these cost-saving cutting deals to save money. And actually, because they lost so much volume in first-class mail, they still make a profit. Not much, but the mail volume steadily dropped. Now you'll see a lot more junk mail, or class. That's helping out now, and the parcel. But, you know, they made a turnaround because of this Amazon deal. And Amazon is now looking at flying their own little drones out to your, they've already started in England.
But Amazon is very big employment in Jacksonville. Lots of kids. Sundays, all everything.
Like I say, you have to go through the whole system to get employed to do this. It's not just
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Now, I know you're gonna throw your biscuits at me when I finish this, before I finish. I hear somebody talking about ministers doing their thing and, you know, different people are doing their thing. And what can happen is in this room, of course. But I strongly believe in the power of prayer. And this is the first public meeting that I attend didn't have prayer. So what we need to do in this room is start with the power of prayer. There's nothing wrong with everybody having a moment, you know. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with the meeting. But we need to take in consideration the power of prayer. And once we come into this room and pray for what we need and want, we can see the rent being paid. We can see other things being done. You know, that's not a day or a night that I don't go to bed, wake up in the morning and say, thank God. He let me be here for 72 years. And I'm very thankful for that. I have aches and pains too, but I walked in here. So that's what we need to do. Not just talk about what Tom, Dick, and Harry done, is doing, but let us start here with the power of prayer. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with the moment of silence, but I want to hear somebody else say it other than me. And like I said, this is the first public meeting that I've attended that I didn't hear prayer. We're not at a football game, and trust me, those boys, they need somebody, they need to hear the word of prayer too. You see, so throw your biscuits, throw your spirits, I don't care.
Okay, you want to throw the biscuit first or am I going to go first?
Let me say, I appreciate what you said, but listen, when you got people who are not Christians, you can't expect them to pray like you pray. And a moment of silence gives everybody an opportunity to pray in their own language. If they're Jews, well, just a second. If they're Jews, then they don't pray like I pray. I respect that. If there is a moment of silence, and everybody can talk to God in their own language, whatever they call it. If they're Muslims, they talk to God in the language that they know. I just don't think because you start that, what you gonna do with the people who are not Christians?
You know, that's the sad part about it. I don't think anybody in here that's under age 21 that don't understand what I'm trying to say.
We all understand what you're saying, but listen, I'm older than you are, and I'm 79. I worked in the city of Toledo for the school board, and we used to have prayer, and then a Jewish woman came to me one day and she said, "Why don't you ever ask somebody from the Jewish faith to pray?" And that did something to me. I understood then, as I understand now, that everybody doesn't pray the same kind of prayer that my father and your father and my mother and your mother pray. They just don't. And they have just as much right to God as you do.
Now, my point with this, you got your secretary, you got your treasurer, your financial person, you got your chairperson. That's up to them to vote on what they want to do. But that was just my point. I was just trying to make a point.
I respect your point of view. I also respect his, and I concur more with his because something that you may say in your prayer may be offensive to my belief, and vice versa. So therefore, that moment of silence gives us the opportunity. If we're gonna pray, if we're gonna worship, or we just gonna let our minds go blank, whatever. I do understand what you're saying. And in most public places, forums, there is a prayer given. But it needs to be given within that entity of what that mission is about. Not just go out and just say, whatever they want to say from within their heart. Everyone may not be in agreeable. So, we all may serve one God, but we all have different beliefs. It's like we all can stare at the same window, but we will never always see the same view. And that's why, I think we should respect each other in that point of view. Now, if there was a prayer and one wanted to partake in it, that's fine, but we cannot force anybody to accept our religion or our beliefs. But if the Democratic Party had a certain prayer that they would say that was in our guidelines, and I can understand that being stated, during the beginning of opening of our meeting, but because we don't, or at least I have not researched that to see if we do. But if we did, I can understand that at that time it being mentioned. But I do understand what you're saying, but that sometimes we got to just reach it within ourselves and use that moment of silence as our resource.
Now, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Now, my point here is, why the rent, somebody said the rent hasn't been paid for what?
9 months.
See, point blank. Nobody's giving any money. I mean, it just, and the funds is just pathetic.
But forget about the
Hold on,
finances.
John. She had her hand up. Ma'am? Okay, go ahead.
But forget about the finances, the curves of it. Us y'all used to make those great Democrat, I'm a local Democrat stickers. Maybe we could get him to make those and sell them. Proceeds go to the party. And then we sell all the teacher signs, maybe we can print some more and sell some more.
I don't know if he's on all that. All right, anybody else? We need to move on, y'all.
Okay, one other thing. Katie, they were talking about stuff in the newspaper and stuff. A lot of people don't read the newspaper. We do we have any young people who are actively involved in Facebook? Facebook is a wonderful resource. You upload their page. I mean, older people only, but I'm saying someone who can have access to their page to put all this information up there, plug our website where we can say you want to donate. People use Cash App, people use eBay. People will donate, but you have to have, like you said, you put the information out there, let them know what it is you stand for, what it is you're trying to achieve, what it is you're trying to accomplish, and people will donate money. I mean, there's so many college students here right now at BSU. You let them know that the Democratic Party, what they're about. You know that opioid is a big thing right now. But you have candidates who are running for the state for governor who say let's legalize medical marijuana or different. Young people, or like you say, are different. So we have to reach out. We have to go and do everything we can to reach out to all our potential voters and raise our money. We have to use every avenue possible.
And that's why I brought this young.
Okay, but I'm saying we having it by update.
Oh, yeah, yes, yes.
That's why I brought this young man here. He's a college student. I think this is a good man to do what you're just talking about. We need young people like him. He's a good man. He's a smart young man. He's very smart.
It's amazing to be a Democrat. We can have a forum where you can feel free to express your beliefs.
Amen. Amen.
And be disagreeable, but disagree but not be disagreeable. And that's what we need to promote by our party. We don't all think the same. That's right. We don't all act the same. But we're focus driven on the same. And that's what makes me proud to be a Democrat, because I've got my views. I'm conservative on some things. I'm liberal on other things. I'm a staunch religious on some things, and some things I'm open-minded on some things. But and I'm anti-tax increase on all things. but that's what makes it so great. We can have discussions like this, and we can still be focused on prize. Now, if you look at your agenda,
You're the only person that has an agenda.
Oh, no, okay, well, and I look at my agenda. Thanks, Richard, for reminding me. I qualify coming up March 5th through the 9th. Next regular meeting will be the 2nd of April. And we have a general primary May 22nd. Now, is there any old business we haven't discussed? John?
When and where is the next meeting, next party meeting? And I hear all these great ideas, precincts. My first sticker is 4 that I can't even remember. Are we going to wait a whole month to do anything with them, or maybe there needs to be some sort of...
We're gonna bring up the parts of the bumper stickers in a minute. I don't know to bring those up.
Is the next meeting here?
I would love for it to be. Jim, you work on that?
I've already signed this up for here.
Okay.
For April 2nd.
Okay.
Okay, and what is the theme of that meeting?
Membership.
Membership.
We need members. We need members.
It will be on the Facebook page now that I know what it is.
Okay. Any other old business we haven't discussed?
This young man had his hand.
Yeah, go ahead.
Introduce yourself, provide yourself.
Hello everybody, I'm Nathan Hooker. I'm currently a freshman at Valdosta State University. Originally from Sydney, Florida. It's a privilege to be here with y'all tonight. Give earnings to everyone in their respective places. I was just listening, taking everything in. On behalf of just the younger generation, or my current, the millennials, it's just Facebook. Everything continues to progress. Like, I could say we're no longer dealing with Facebook. Me, myself, personally, I still use Facebook. But a lot of my peers, they're moving on to the next big thing, Instagram or Snapchat. And as they're progressing, I just suggest that we all take the efforts to progress too.
Are you volunteering to come on Instagram?
Yeah, make sure that you sign in so that we can get you hooked up.
And get about 20 of your friends.
Is there any new business besides what you heard? Any new business? All right, a couple of things. Willie had asked that we entertain the idea, he didn't leave a bumper sticker with me, he would. No. But, he said he's gonna leave him out, he probably got past his mind, he's old. Okay, but he asked us, we entertain the idea of endorsing the concept of buying those bumper stickers. Don't blame me, I voted for Hillary, and charging $10 per bumper sticker, and we get $7 out of the 10, the way I understood it. So I'm gonna open that up for discussion and possibly a motion from the floor to either accept or reject.
I think we're kind of looking backward with that bumper sticker. I think we need to be more positive and move forward.
Yeah, good point.
Well, and I think that John's suggestion of that we ask Tom, because Tom had some positive things that he was selling bumper stickers. I mean, if,
Okay, so let's do this.
I would rather see us sell them for $5 and make less profit and sell more. I think selling things for $10 is kind of a stretch. I don't know. I found that first.
So is there a motion to accept? Is there a motion to reject? Is there a motion to accept with a modification of $5?
I'll make a motion that the chair consult with Tom Hochschild about bumper stickers.
But we gotta deal with Willie's issue, then we can move on to Tom's.
Well, given the discussion, I think we need to reject that motion and move on to something more positive.
Okay, there's been a motion to reject. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor of rejecting the idea, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, now we can talk about Tom's idea.
Okay, now more positively, that the chair consult with Tom Hochschild about getting some bumper stickers that we can sell for $5 as a fundraiser for the point.
Okay. Is there a second? Second, okay, any discussion on the motion that we get with?
What kind of bumper stickers? Are you talking about the same bumper stickers you were talking about?
no, something with a positive
We're talking about
message.
positive bumper stickers, and the chair is going to consult about.
Not bring them back before.
The chair has to come back to the body with whatever he consults with.
Any discussion on the motion? Gary?
People not putting bumper sticks too much on their cars now. So let's look at, the little things that people put in the window, those little things, a lot of people not putting bumper, cars cost a lot of money. People not putting stickers on. So those little things, those things that you really do well.
A decal.
Look at something like that, but I'm not putting a sticker on it.
I'll take that as a
A decal? Do you,
How you put that on your truck? I gotta look at
Well, you got a
I think when we talk about bumper stickers, I think we ought to talk about general merchandise, because we got T-shirts down at the office, Lowndes County Democratic Party. We could have different kind of merchandise, a number of different bumper stickers. And I think all of that can go toward raising funds.
I just like to say that we lost money on the shirts, so that,
I was gonna say, how much money do you have to put up to go into this kind of venture? And do you have the money in your treasury to put it up?
No.
To start these things, well then maybe you ought to
That's
be
right.
talking about something else. To get the money in.
Personally, I like to have a motion to table.
Yeah.
I can't make a motion, I just make a.
Well, you can still talk to them.
okay, well,
I can still talk to you.
I would like to make a motion that we have a committee meeting of our elected committee members to discuss, figure this out. Tom Hochschild is a committee member. Willie Rayford is a committee member. Call a meeting of the committee, and we will figure this out at a separate time. What to Jim, me, John, Dennis, that we have a lot of committee members. We have 24 of us who the body elected to figure out the business of the party. So I make a motion that you call a meeting of the committee.
All right, before we do that, somebody make a motion to table the motion made by Dennis, and then we could
I moved to table.
I'm happy to withdraw the motion.
You're withdrawing?
Motion is table. All right,
Wait,
now-
wait,
now
wait,
we're-
wait, wait, wait.
Katie, I'm happy to withdraw the motion.
He's withdrawing it.
I'll withdraw my second.
Okay,
Now we go to Gretchen. Your idea of calling a committee meeting.
Call a committee meeting so that we can figure this out before the next meeting, like, you have to give 10 days notice, so
We
in
don't need a
10,
motion for that, we'll do that.
okay, good.
Well, that's, any day of the week for me is good except Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Okay, when?
Okay,
Everybody available?
we have enough committee members here actually right now, but we didn't have notice of the committee meeting. So, but we could pick a day, and if we pick a day that's not on a Tuesday or a Thursday, and it's 10 days out from now, that would be Tuesday or Wednesday. That would be, Thursday the 15th is 10 days from now. Thursday the 15th.
Time, give them time.
James?
Tuesday, Wednesday.
In the evening. What time?
Anytime, anytime after 3:30.
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock
At the office,
at the office on the 15th.
and I need to meet with the officers after we here today just for a brief moment. So if you're an officer, please hang around just for a few minutes, I need to meet with you just for a few minutes. Okay, any other business that we need to discuss with the business party?
I've got one last thing to say. Folks, when I passed the hat, got it back, I got back $499. But to be honest, that's like 1 month.
Yeah, we have to do that every
So we're
month.
now 8 months behind on everything. $2,400, we still got a raise. So just to let you, keep that in mind, and I appreciate it.
Who else will put in more money?
I mean, a debit card. I don't care.
Okay.
Are you making announcements now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just a second. Jimmy had his hand up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hey, one last thing. I have gotten money from 12, gotten money for dues from 12 members. We have 12 dues paying members this year.
Oh, that's all, I was talking tonight.
No.
Not tonight,
Oh,
no, this year. So if you haven't paid dues, it's $25, $15 if you're senior. Good enough.
Oh, you gotta be the
Yeah, it's
senior.
15.
Oh, yeah, oh, you gotta be doing
No, that's for the year.
Okay, can we go to the next?
Wait a minute. Jim, anything else?
Sorry.
All right, Jimmy?
I was concerned about the T-shirts. I wonder how many T-shirts do you have?
We have a whole box in the office.
How much are they?
20.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'd like to take that task on and try to get rid of the T-shirts.
Oh, man.
Bring them to the next meeting. Bring them
Oh, you wanna bring it to me?
Rose had his hand up.
I just wanted to make an announcement.
Order, please.
On the 24th of March, that's this month, the end of this month, there will be a mass march in Washington by family and friends of the people who were shot and killed in Florida and in Las Vegas. There will be a huge march from Serenity Church to the Board of Education. It's not a protest march. The man who will be speaking will be, he's an 84-year-old veteran of the Vietnam and Korean conflict. He will be the main speaker, and he has a wonderful message. But this is not a protest march. I want to make that clear. We're going to walk from Serenity to the Board of Education, and we're going to meet at 2 o'clock on the 24th at Serenity Church, and then we're going to march to the Board of Education. Everybody is welcome.
The 24th is on Saturday, right?
Yeah, it's on a Saturday. We're gonna meet at 2 o'clock and then we'll walk. We should be done in an hour.
Did everybody hear that?
Yes.
Okay. 24th, that's Trinity Church.
Right.
March 24th is a support march for the kids in Parkland, Florida, and the victims in Las Vegas. Okay. Any other announcements? All right, motion to adjourn?
Motion done.
So moved. All right, all in favor?
Okay.
All right, everybody meet with the officers.